Okay.
Let's use Street Fighter boards. Wait until Rill is fully loaded up here. Assuming she isn't crashed. There we go. Guys, this is a game called Exceed. It's a fighting game. It's a card fighting game. Unlike something like Magic or one of those where you have to build your own decks, the decks are provided for you. You don't have to build your own deck, which is why I like it. Like, if I were to play this in real life, it means I wouldn't have to go out and, like, collect a bunch of cards in order to have, like, a decent deck. I would just go out and buy a deck.
I mean, you can just go out and buy a deck for Magic, too.
Yeah, but fuck that. Fuck Magic, to be honest. So, they're
like
doing,
Magic.
like...
Fuck you.
They're doing, like, a big push, aren't they, for Magic lately?
They want people to play their new, their new internet game.
Yeah.
Computer game.
Why is the gravity so
They
weird?
just sponsored Kevo to do a video on that.
They sponsored Game Grumps as well. They sponsor a lot of people right now. So here's all the fighters over here on this side of the table. I would recommend probably just going ahead and picking a Street Fighter character. There are non-Street Fighter characters, but they kind of have different mechanics. It'd be easiest if everybody was using the same kind of game, and we just have the one set of mechanics to use. Whoever you want to play, take both its deck and the second thing that also has their name on it. There's like 2 things in here that you would want to take.
One choke took the character I wanted.
Be Dan.
How do I just view?
Yeah, just right-click search and then take whoever you want. Make sure to take both things. There's 4 characters in each box, so.
I'll be Vega.
Okay.
I typed letter D.
So, Craig, go ahead and take your top card and put it over here.
Why did the other one not go?
There you go.
There.
Go ahead and take your deck. You can put your deck over here somewhere on the corner of the board.
Where am I?
You're over there. I'm going to take your top card and put it over here. And then take your deck, turn it over, shuffle the shit out of it, and put it on the corner of your board. There's a place for it. So here's how this works.
This corner?
Yeah, this corner. There's like a snap point for it. There you go.
Where do I put my character
right here, like kind of under
thing?
under the board. This is just for info things. We don't necessarily need to use this. So here's how this works. Whoever goes first is going to draw 5 cards from their deck, and that is your hand. You can never have more than 7 cards in your hand, just to let you know. Whoever goes second is going to be drawing 6 cards into their deck. I guess really you're going to go second. Lost Joke and Surak can decide amongst themselves.
So I should grab 6 cards?
Yep. And I'm going to use some of my cards for... I'm actually going to look inside my deck because I need some...
5.
There we go. I need some examples here. So here's what happens. So on a card, if everybody wants to look at this card over here. This is a card. This is a typical card. On your turn, you have options. You can either draw a card into your hand, and then that's your turn. Or you can play one of these cards for the bottom part. In this case, if I were to play this for the bottom part, I would just take it from my hand, lay it down, not here, but like just on the board, and then I would get what it says. In this case, I would name a normal attack, then strike. The opponent must strike with that card or reveal a hand without any. So that basically means I would say one of these over here. This is a list of normal attacks over here. This is why we have these lists out here. Anything on this card in the middle is a normal attack. So I would say I name sweep, which means that if you have any sweeps in your hand, you would then have to attack with that. And if you don't, that means you have to show me your entire hand. And then after this is done, this would go away, and that's this card completely done. Or I could declare a strike. So when you declare a strike, that is when you're attacking the other person. When you declare a strike, you take the card from your hand and you lay it face down on the board. The other person, the opposing person, also has to take a card from their hand, flip it over in your hand, and then lay it face down on the board. And then when both people have their cards face down, we both flip them over, and then we proceed from there. An attack consists of, the first thing you want to do is look at the speed. Higher speed wins. So this speed is 1, so any, speed of 2, 3, 4, etc. would win and would go first. Even if I'm the one who started the attack, if your speed is higher, you attack first. Then you want to look at range. Range is literally just how far your character card is from mine. So in this case, if I'm right here, this has a range of 1 to 2. If I'm right here and you're over here, I can't hit you with this. You're out of range. I can't hit you. If I was right here, I would be able to hit you. Or if I was right here, I would be able to hit you.
Okay.
Then you determine damage. So damage is the power stat. So in this case, this thing is 4 power, which means you would take 4 damage. Now, on your card, on your own revealed card, on the other person's revealed card, you look at if you have any armor. And if you have any armor, you directly deduct that from the damage that you take. So if we were using the same card, I do 4 damage, you have 2 armor, so you'd only take 2 damage. And then finally, if your card has a guard ability, in this case, this card does, of 5, that means that's how much damage you can take before you are stunned. Stunned means you don't get to attack back that turn. If you have no guard and you take any damage, that means you're stunned and you can't attack. So then, after that, both cards, whether you use them or not, are discarded, and the game continues on. Another thing you can do is you can move. And I should probably explain currencies. There are 2 currencies in this game. One you can see right here on the bottom left of this card, this little 0 in the red thing. That is called force. Force is basically you just have to take a card in your hand, you take it out, you discard it, and that gives you 1 force to use immediately. In this case, it doesn't cost any force to play this for the bottom part, so I wouldn't have to use any force. But that's one kind of currency. The other kind of currency is gauge. As you can see, there's gauge over here. In order to get gauge, you have to hit with an attack. If you successfully hit with an attack, even if you do no damage, like if they have armor or other buffs that mean they don't take any damage, as long as you successfully hit with the attack, the card goes into the gauge thing, and then you can spend those cards when you have something that uses gauge. Let me find something that uses gauge, like this. So this is gauge. This is, you see the 3 up the top left? That is gauge.
Ah, okay.
So basically red is focus, green, blue is gauge. You can also spend gauge as focus, but you cannot spend focus as gauge.
Okay. I'm probably going to forget all of
That's
this.
fine. It does require you to kind of play it a couple of times before you get it. All of your characters have special moves as well. So if you look on your own character card, number 1, all characters all Street Fighter characters specifically have the ability to crit. If your attack card has a crit thing, let me find one. Why does Dan have no crits?
Dan is a special boy.
He honestly, he has no crits. He has not a single crit. Someone else. I need to use someone else's card.
There.
Does this guy have a crit? No, that's not actually a crit.
No.
Here we go. Here's one. Jesus Christ.
It said something about crit on it.
It does, but it's not a crit. Critical, that means if you spend one focus, I'm sorry, it's one gauge. It's one gauge to crit on these guys. You get +2 power. But if you don't spend that, then you just ignore that and you do whatever else the thing says. And then finally, probably don't do that. And then finally, the other thing, look on the bottom of this card. This, you see the kind of brown plus symbol? That means when I play this, it stays in effect until the next strike. So basically this is, in essence, a buff that will buff my next strike. When the strike happens, and we both exchange our attacks, then this will get used up and will go away whether or not I attack. So even if you, like, attack me and you stun me and I'm not able to use an attack, this will still go away. Like, that's it.
Okay.
And then last but not least, movement. You can move any number of spaces at the cost of force. So if I wanted to move one, I would have to discard a card, and then move one. And if I wanted to move two, I would discard 2 cards, etc., etc. Then there are also, like, if you look at the bottom of your cards, some of them actually just have movement, like, built into them, so you don't necessarily have to do that. That's if you want to move and you don't have any other ability to move, or, like, if you want to move and the cards that you have don't let you move the way you want. Like, this one says retreat up to 4. That means I could only move back. I could not move forward. Does that make sense?
It says retreat 3. Do I have to retreat 3, or is it up to 3?
It's
It
unless
doesn't
it
say
says
up to.
unless it says up to, then you have to move the full amount. Obviously, if
What if there is no 3 behind me?
then you move as much as you can.
Okay.
That can make positioning difficult because there are some moves that will say, like, before you, or some attacks that will say before you attack, move this many spaces, and then unless it says up to, then you have to move exactly that many spaces, and that could potentially take you out of range of the actual attack, so you have to kind of be careful about that. So, again, the things that you can do, and all this stuff is on the cards in the middle here. Choose an action and draw a card. So, if you do anything other than attack, you also get to draw a card at the end, which means if you choose to draw a card as your turn, you actually end up getting 2 cards, because you draw the card as the turn, and then because you didn't attack, you also then draw a card at the end of your turn. But again, keep in mind, you can only have up to 7 cards in your hand. And then the boost it refers to is the bottom of the card, is the yellow part of the card. You can play that at any time. Again, you play it face up and you just do whatever it says immediately on your turn. And then, again, if you want to attack, you have to declare that you are attacking and place whatever attack you're using face down. So just remember that. And then also, remember that your character has abilities that they can use at any time. You're on your actual ability sheet. Oh, that's why Dan doesn't have any criticals, because he his wild swings are all I can spend critical on. So my ability, wild swing, is if someone declares an attack and you have no attack cards in your hand, then what you do is you take whatever the top card is of your deck and you put it down, and that's your attack. And you don't actually get to look at it before you do that. You look at it when both people, you know, flip their cards over, and that's called a wild swing, because you don't know what it is.
Okay.
Because you have no attacks. Vega, yours is if you're at the edge, when you use a strike, your special and ultra attacks have +2 power. Special is anything with your character's icon on them. Those are your, like, the Vega specific ones. And then your ultra is basically the ones that cost gauge. Nothing else really costs gauge except for ultra and being able to critical things. So I'm gonna go first,
Okay.
and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this card. If you play a card face up, that basically just means that you're boosting and you're not attacking. So I get to look at the top card of my deck, and if I want to, I can strike, and if I don't want to, I can just add the top card to my gauge. Let me do that. What is this? I can't, so I'm gonna have to just add this to my gauge. And that's me done. And then because I did not attack, I do draw a card. So Rill, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
You can draw a card, but
Let's
then
go
you would draw another
clockwise.
card. Oh yeah, you want to go clockwise? So Craig, do you want to do your thing then? So your options are draw a card, play a boost. You can move by discarding your cards. Or you can attack.
I'll play this as a boost.
All right, you need to spend one focus to play this, so you need to discard one other card to play this.
Yeah.
Also, you do actually need to attack right now. So what this says is right now you strike.
Okay.
So so anything that says now on a boost, you do actually have to do right when you play it.
And I'm at, what range am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4 right now?
Yeah. Remember that some, so if you look at your attacks, some of them might say before. And that means that before you, you still have to compare speed first, so whoever goes first does their before first. But it means that you do that before. So some attacks might actually have you moving. Like one of my attacks says before advance 3, which means when I attack and I go first, I would move 3 and then do the attack.
Okay. Alright, I've chosen an attack.
All right, Lost
And
Joke.
And I can boost it. I can still boost too if I'm defending.
No, you can only attack. You have to attack. You have to answer his attack. It's like a double-edged sword with striking, is that you can force your opponent to attack, but at the same time, like, for all you know, they actually have a really good card. Alright. Both ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and flip them. First thing you do is compare speed. 5 versus 7. Shit. Well, Lost Joke goes first. But he has to be in range. And he does not seem to be in range. So he does not hit you. Craig, you still get to go. Before, you can advance 2. So, actually, you need to advance 2. You have to advance 2. And now, you can't critical because you have no gauge. But you do, I believe, hit Lost Joke for 3 damage. Lost Joke has no armor, so he takes the full 3 damage.
Flipping axe kick to the forehead.
And then that's it. So both of these cards are now, you can actually put them in your gauge because you successfully hit with this, which means it can go in the gauge. And then this says that when you strike, if you hit, it goes in your gauge.
Yeah. Your hand is in the way.
This is just
+1.
no. You don't get the bottom. You only get the bottom if you play it as a boost
So why does this get to go on my gauge?
because
too?
you hit with it.
So any attack you hit with, you get to put in your gauge.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one went into your gauge specifically because it forced you to attack, but then it says if you hit with whatever attack that you do, you can add this
Yeah.
card to your gauge. But then also any attack that you use that you successfully hit with also goes into your gauge.
Okay.
Lost Joke, it's your turn.
I need to draw 1 card, right?
No, you actually do not draw if you attack.
I'm going to draw 2.
Okay. So that is your turn. That is your full turn.
You can draw 2 because you're.
That's his turn.
Oh,
That's his turn.
Yeah,
He draws 1, and then because he did not attack, he gets to draw a second one at the end of his
I
turn.
thought he was gonna go over his hand limit, but he used
Mm.
a strike card on my
Yeah.
turn, so he didn't.
So, Rill, it's your turn.
I still don't know what the fuck I want to do.
I would probably recommend at this point doing a boost if there is a bottom yellow of your card that you want to do, because if you just take the draw action, you would be over your hand limit and you would have to discard a card. So, do you want to move, or do you have anything that lets you have a buff on your next attack? Do you have anything that you want to pay for that can give you something good?
Or you could just attack if you have something
Or yes, you can.
lets you get in range.
You can say that you want to attack.
So would this be 2 away or 3
Yes.
or 1 away?
Yeah, if you move 2,
Alright.
you would move 1, 2, and you would be right there.
All right. Well, I mean for attacks.
Oh yeah. So I am currently 4 away from you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do this and retreat 1.
Okay.
And that is what I do.
And now you can draw
Now
a
I can
card
draw a card.
because you did not attack. Yep. And that is your turn. All right, what am I going to do? I am... What else do I have? I'm going to attack. I'm going to strike. So, Rill, you have to answer my strike with one of your own. Remember to place the thing face down.
All right.
Actually, I hope I can hit with this. I think I can.
Remember that you can't hit with something that's not in range.
Yep.
And you're at 5 range now.
I mean, you can kind of put use like a throwaway attack if you want, but you do have to put something out. All right, ready?
Okay.
Flip.
Yeah.
My speed's 6. Your speed is 3. I go first. Before advance 3. 1, 2, 3. If I move past the opponent, I did not, so I don't have to worry about that. And then my range is 1 to 2. You are in range. I do 3 damage to you. You don't have any armor, so you do take 3 damage. But I do not stun you, which means you get to attack me back. So
Okay, so the guard 4 doesn't mean anything.
the guard 4 is why you did not get stunned.
Ah, okay.
If I had done 5 damage to you, then you would be stunned. But I only did 3 damage to
Okay.
you.
So I can hit you because you're within my range.
That is correct.
And
I am within your range. You do
it's 5 damage.
5 damage. Now, both of us hit, which means both of our cards go into a gauge.
Okay.
And then neither of us draws because that was an attack. So, Craig, it's your turn. Unless you and Lost Oak have been doing stuff already.
No.
Alright. That was bad for me, Real. You did more damage to me than I did to you.
Yep.
Yes.
I can only play 1 boost, right?
Yeah, 1 boost at a time. You can have as many boosts as you want out, like, at a time, but you can only play 1 at a time.
Okay.
1 per turn, I should say.
I should probably just draw 2.
Yeah. Alright, Lost Joke, your turn. Look, I need to change the music on this. Let me change to... There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to boost.
Okay. If the opponent is at range 1, push 3. Well, the opponent is not at range 1, so...
But I'm going to declare an attack.
You can't do both at the same on the same turn. You can boost or you can attack. No. You can boost or you can attack. You can't do both. Craig was able to do that because his card said that he could do that.
Yeah, my boost says now strike. So it told me I had to strike as I played the boost.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Do that instead.
Okay. You boost. Do say what you're doing, just so there's no confusion.
Well, I still wanted to boost, but I can't do what I wanted to do, so I'm going to do a different boost.
Alright,
or
that's fine.
sustain, or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. And I draw a card then.
Yes.
So at the end of your next turn, add this card to gauge.
So yeah, basically, if Lost Joke, whether he attacks or not, this card is going to go away at the end of his next turn.
Yeah.
Just to let you know. If you don't attack, you still get it as gauge. If you do attack, then I believe you get the +2 speed, and you get to put it in your gauge. So.
I kicked Cammy in the forehead, and her response was to curl up into a ball.
She's going through the air, though. Real, it's your turn.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm juggling her.
You could just draw if you want. You do have the space for it, but that's just, that's up to you. Or you could lay a boost, or you could attack. Or you could move, if you want.
I'm gonna hit you.
Okay, you're gonna attack me?
Yes.
How dare you?
Okay, hold on. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Flip. My speed's 5. Your speed's 2. I get to go first. Before close 2. So these words do actually mean something specific. Close means that I go towards you, but I do not go past you.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it says close 2, I would only move 1 because you're there now. If it had said advance 2, then I would actually move 1, 2 because I would move past you.
All right.
So now I get to hit you for 4 damage. Yeah, 4 damage. And then also, because I hit you, this card says I gain advantage, which means I take the next turn no matter what. This doesn't matter right now because my turn is the next turn anyway, but if this were reversed and say like I attacked you with this card,
Mm-hmm. You would go again.
then I would just go again, yeah. So that's my turn. So now you are not stunned because that was not enough to stun you because it was not over 6. Which
And then
means
I
you
hit
hit me
you
for
for 6.
6. Christ almighty.
And you must discard a card at random.
Shit. I have to do it at random, which means...
Should I just grab one from your thing?
Yeah, just grab one. Alright.
Despite being Vega, you swept Merg as Jury Han.
Yep.
My turn. Also, you do not take a card because you
No.
attacked. I'm just going to draw 2 cards. And that's my turn. Greg. Girl's kicking my ass at her first game.
Not by much.
Some of these characters do kind of require a particular strategy to use well. And I'm probably not using Dan's strategy.
Dan has a
Oh,
strategy.
wait.
What?
Since I'm at the edge of the arena, right?
You're not.
I'm not?
The edge is one more. There's one more space.
Oh, I thought I could only move up until this red.
Nah, there's one more.
One born behind you.
Okay.